faster, healthier, better.
And we are live. Thanks for being on, Matt. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
So usually we ask the guests to pick their favorite beverage, and you're not really an alcoholic. You're not really an alcohol kind of guy, but you suggested this whiskey.
Yeah.
I'll pour us a glass. Want to tell us why this whiskey or bourbon? Is it bourbon or whiskey?
It's a bourbon. Yeah. Honestly, man, like obviously, like you said, I'm not much of a liquor guy, but my sister got this for me for Christmas, and then I was trying it out, and never had something that had such good taste. Like like you taste the banana.
So when you told me that there was a little bit of banana, I was like, "That's a little wild, man."
No, it's not just a little banana. There's a decent amount of banana.
All right, fair enough. One ice, two ice,
Whatever works. I'm okay with that. Just 2 ice.
And then we'll get one for Ryan. So tell the audience a little bit about your history. So you're a nutrition coach for specifically fighters or for every other day people?
So I'm a nutrition coach for everyday people, general population, but also specialized for combat athletes for weight cutting and rehydration.
Okay.
And added to that, also a professional MMA fighter.
So how'd you get into fighting?
About just over 13 years ago, I literally just walked into a gym. I wanted to two things. I wanted to learn how to one punch somebody.
Okay.
I did.
We all wanted that.
We all wanted that, right? But I was just upfront about it. I want to learn how to one punch somebody, so it's a very douchey thing to say, which is good.
You're honest about that.
Yeah. And then the next one, this is a good one. The next one is I wanted to get girls with it. I felt like if I knew how to fight, I thought if I knew how to fight, the girls would like
exactly
that.
Like how Ryan is.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? As you fight more, as you train more, you know what? Girls don't fucking care. They do not. I'm sorry. They don't care. No, they don't care.
No.
No.
Take your drinks. Take your drinks. There you go. All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
That's really good.
Told you, right?
You know what that tastes like? A bourbon with like, you know those banana marshmallow candies?
Yes. Like a liqueur.
100%.
Yeah.
40%?
40%, man.
Oh, God.
This is bad. This is bad news.
This is really bad.
Wait till you have a night when you're drinking with it. You're going to be like, oh, I'm fucked.
100%. Okay, so you got into fight. So what gym did you start at?
I started at the gym called Ultimate Martial Arts. Mm-hmm. They just opened up a location in Brampton where I lived. Mm-hmm. My brother came home with a little coupon. Hey, man, 1 free trial. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah. Me and my buddy go in. First day I go in, I start training. I'm like, oh, this is it now. This is what I like.
Yeah.
Like I was just getting out of high school. So I played sports all my life. And then once I had a year off where I wasn't doing shit. Mm-hmm. Like physically. So I was going to the gym doing that thing, but I need some sort of purpose. Mm-hmm. So once I started training, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I love this.
Did you train specifically in stand-up, MMA, just jiu-jitsu? How did you start?
Start off with Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Yeah. So like my first like 6-7 years have just been pure Muay Thai kickboxing. Oh, wow. So it was primarily a kickboxing gym. Mm-hmm. And then we started from there, and then right there just kept like snowballing off.
Awesome. And then, so how did that snowball into nutrition?
So throughout the years, like believe it or not, I had the worst weight cuts. So I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
So before we jump into that, how long until you had your first fight?
When
you started training?
I had a smoker within 3 months.
I don't know what a smoker is.
Exhibition.
Okay.
In-house
fight. Is that the term?
They call it a smoker. They call it exhibition. They call it in-house fight.
Okay.
Just anything like that. It was within 3 months. That's a little bit odd for most people because
that's really quick.
Because like I needed fighting as an outlet for some shit I was going through. So then I spent about 6 days a week in the gym, about 3 hours a night.
Wow.
So I
put it in that time.
What's in that?
You put in that time.
100%. And then I went through all that. And then within 3 months, my coach, I was not the type of guy to go, coach, I want to fight. Like a lot of these young bucks are doing these days.
Yeah.
But I just I trained. And then my coach just said to me, hey, we got exhibitions coming up. And I said, okay. And he goes, do you want to jump in? I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do it. So then I jumped in within 3 months.
How did that feel?
It was wild.
Yeah. How's that feeling of your first exhibition, your first smoker?
Yeah.
Like what kind of nerves do you get? You know, for example, like me, every time that I spar or anything like that, I have to go watch him like 3 times. And I think it's like a nervous kind of like pee kind of thing, right?
100%.
What's your kind of
That's exactly.
Is it
man.
really?
Oh my man, I still
God, I'm not the only one, guys.
No. You know what? I've had in total I've had 28 fights.
Holy.
And still
Muay
no, majority of Muay Thai kickboxing, and then about seven in MMA. And every single fight, there's on that fight day, the nerves are there, and like you got to go to the bathroom, you got to do all that crap. Like it's trust me, it does not go away.
Yeah, it still doesn't go away even now.
No. You just know how to manage it better.
So how do you manage it?
I know that I already signed a fight. I know the fight's happening. I agreed to this. Let's just go with it, man. It's not as bad as people think, as you end up thinking. You build up this monster in your head, and then when the fight's done, it's like, that was it. Like I take more shit in training than this. I barely got hit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now that's where we build up a monster in our head with a lot of things, right? And then we end up doing what we do, and like we perform, whether it's fighting, whether it's a presentation, whatever it is, we do it, and we're like, oh, that was it. Why was I fucking freaking out? Why was I waking up the night before sweating my fucking balls off? Like,
I've heard that's a thing that people they can't sleep the night before.
Yeah. That's usually the case.
Like how long? Like how many hours of sleep did you have on your first fight?
Probably because it was a really bad weight cut the night before, like an idiot. I was sleeping I slept maybe 2-3 hours.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go into that. So why was your first weight cut so short?
All right. So I wanted to fight at 155. I always wanted to fight at 155. I still fight at 155.
Okay, so what do you walk around at?
I walk around about 180.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a wild shit. Yeah, I know.
He's like, I wish I lost that.
Damn, man. I heard that one. So I was, it was a day of weigh-in. So we weigh in at like, I don't know. We weighed in like probably around 2 to 3. And then we fight at around 7.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I was doing. So like throughout the whole fight camp, I was just eating I thought I would drop weight. So what do most people do when they want to drop weight? They drop carbs. Carbs make you fat. They don't. Yeah. But so that's so you drop the carbs. So I barely had energy. I was eating like tuna, salad. I was drinking just water, green tea, dates. It was the worst fucking thing ever.
That sounds awful.
It was terrible. It was the worst thing ever. So then the day before, I'm sitting there at 167. I was like, what am I gonna do? Like I have no idea what I'm doing. So me and my brother go up to Good Life. We start cutting the weight in the sauna. That's the best thing I can do. I'm wearing a sauna suit. I'm wearing sweats. I jump in the sauna. We're doing everything we can.
Your brother's just carding you with just trying to.
He's doing it all. Yeah, he's helping me out. He's talking me through it. He's making sure everything's okay because I'm 20 at the time and I'm just like doing whatever I can, right? And then we end up before we leave Good Life. I'm sitting at around 157. We cut that much weight and like it took about 3-4 hours. So we cut about 10 pounds of water.
Man, that sucks. You're resilient, eh? That's a long time.
Yeah. So then I go home and then I wake up the next day and cut a little bit more. I undercut. So I came in at about 153 and I was dead. And in that time frame from weighing in at 2:00 to fighting at 7 or 8, you do not recover at all. And let's not forget, right when I weighed in after that, I didn't rehydrate like I usually do now or what I recommend to people. I went after eating donuts, chocolate bars, a Subway sub. Like it was absolute ridiculous.
Okay, so I have to ask, did you win?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. I was a little nervous asking that question.
And you know what? With exhibitions and stuff, they always say they always like raise both guys' arms. It's like, oh, we all did it. Yeah, it was a participation medal. But when you walk out of the ring, people are like, yo, you smashed that motherfucker. But like for me, like I went in there and I was just like, I took it too serious. I don't think the guy I fought was taking it that serious because then I just steamrolled him. Nice. And then like even like it's funny, my coach now, Joe. Joe was actually, I didn't know him at the time, but he was the ref at these No, he didn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. But like at an exhibition fight, they just like, hey, we need a most experienced guy. Joe, can you just ref for us? Okay. So Joe sits there and regulates everything. So I didn't know him at the time. He's just like sitting there going, okay. He's like, damn, you just, okay, calm it down a little bit because I'm just like lighting this fucking guy up like it's Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's just like, yo, chill. It's a fucking exhibition. Relax. And I'm just like, I didn't realize like I was too like, I was too pent up. Yeah, I was amped. I was 20 years old. I just started training within 3 months. I'm like, yo, let's do this. And so I went after it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So, okay. So how did that roll into your nutrition?
So yeah, for years, I just had bad weight cuts. Same idea. It got better through time, but now going through fight camps where I'm fighting I'm fighting like better opponents, more and more, and I'm training with better guys, and the training camps become like a lot more to deal with. And then so I just, my body was not responding properly. Like I had low energy levels. I couldn't even do anything. I could just train. I'd go home and sleep. I couldn't do shit. And then after the years went on and on, I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So I started researching. I started doing more and more things. And then, I ended up having an injury about like, I don't know, injuries happen. So I had an injury, and then for a couple months I was just inactive. And I was like, what do I do? One of my coaches said, hey, you're always talking about this nutrition. Get into it. Learn about it. Let's see what's happening. So for about 3-4 months, I just put myself in that world. Was getting certified online with certifications, with ISA, international
as much
sports
knowledge as possible.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then I started learning from some of the best guys in the business who were doing weight cuts for the UFC fighters. I did certifications with them, started understanding what to do, why we're doing it, foods to eat for recovery, for energy, for muscle building, for hormone regulation, everything like that, because it all tied in, right?
Yeah.
So then I started getting really in depth with that. I ended up doing all of that, and then I started just kind of adding more and more to that. And then my first 2 clients were my brother and my sister.
Perfect.
Because I'm like, you know what? Like I need to like guinea pigs.
You need
Let me see how this works. So we did the standard like meal plans. Obviously it's a lot different than it was before. That was about like 5-6 years ago. Yeah. And then like I get the ball rolling. A guy hired me at my work that I was working at the time. And then from there it was working for him. So then more people started at it, like piling on. Fighters started finding out about this. Like, hey, can you help me with this weight cut? I was like, okay, let's do it. So then it just kept going. It was just a snowball effect.
That's amazing. One of the kind of more famous people before is I tried the Dolce diet.
Yeah.
Did you ever try that?
I never tried the Dolce diet. I always heard good things about it. Like,
is he still a nutrition coach right now?
Yes, yeah. He's doing a lot of stuff. I've listened to quite a few podcasts with him on. He's good, man. He's the job he does is really good. He knows what he's doing. He works with a lot of like high end dietitians.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing. The work speaks for himself, right? Yeah. So yeah, definitely does well.
What are a couple this is too good. I'm gonna have to force it.
Go for it. Go for it.
What are a couple of people that you follow that you like respect in in that kind of field for fighters?
So like just in nutrition in general, just a little bit, yeah. Nutrition in general, there is guys like Lane Norton. He's really
I love Lane Norton.
Lane Norton's he's hilarious.
He's savage.
Yeah, he's a savage, but he's just calling out all the bullshit, which is great, right? One of the guys I learned from was George Lockhart and Dan Leith.
Dan Leith, I know.
Yeah, they helped me out when they're the ones that got me into the weight cutting rehydration world, and I learned primarily from them. And then I started like learning a lot more from other people around, like guys from the UFC PI. I kind of met a few of those guys, and they were
always wanted to go to the PI, man.
You know what? I was only in the front room, like at the time when I went there, when we were working with Malcolm, and then it was COVID, so they only let certain people in. So I was just like in the front room. So I was just sitting there kind of like waiting.
That's still pretty cool though.
Yeah, it was there. I was just, we were expecting you to go in, and then like, sir, you can't go behind this wall. I was like, all right, I'm going to just sit out here and drink all the fucking coffee you guys give me for free.
Perfect.
So I was like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some, if you don't mind me asking, what are some protocols that you give to your fighters for, weight cutting? Like, or you know what? Here's a better question. What are things that you see being done by fighters that you don't like for weight cutting?
When they say they don't eat carbs.
So, okay, explain to people why are carbs so villainized?
Oh my god!
So what? Okay, explain, because I explain it to people, but you know what?
So throughout history, we always there have been certain macronutrients like protein, fats, and carbs. There are certain times in time where like it got villainized. Like there was times where fats were like, don't eat fat. Fat will make you fat. Okay, great. Can't do that. Then now it's still on this where carbs make you fat. Don't eat carbs. So you drop carbs, and people think it's a good thing because it's like, oh, I drop carbs. I'm good to go now. All they're really doing is they're not necessarily dropping carbs. They're just losing a little bit of water weight. They're seeing the changes on the scale and like, holy fuck, it's working. I'm not going to eat carbs anymore. So they have such little carbs. And then within weeks at a time of doing this kind of protocol, that's it. They have no energy. They can't function properly. And then what do? They have a binge here and there because their energy levels are shot. And then their binges come back, and then they're here and there. And guess what? They just jump back on the low carb again. And they keep doing this vicious fucking cycle. And they don't realize that carbs are used for energy. It's our preferred source of energy when we want to do anything anaerobic, anything explosive. We need carbohydrates. But people don't get that. They sit there and like, carbs make you fat. I'm like, how? I'm like, well, when you eat it, they turn into they turn into fat. I was like, no, you don't even know the concept of it. Like,
yeah, it's
are you
true.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
like,
that's Ryan.
So I try to explain to people. I was like, listen, it's not carbs in isolation that make you fat. It's not fats in isolation that make you fat. And obviously protein, they're by themselves. They're never villainized.
Yeah.
Except if people think that we eat too much protein, which that's a whole nother fucking conversation where it's just like, listen, unless you have kidney issues, yes, then you have to watch your protein intake. But if you don't, they've done studies after studies about high protein diets where it has no adverse effects.
Well, it's impossible for protein to be stored as fat, right?
Yes.
So,
well, it's not like it has to go through like stages of being converted to carbs and then converted to fat, which is
it's very hard.
It's so hard. And guess what? Like your body already has other macros that it's going to use to put on fat, which is fat and carbs. So why would it just use protein? And protein actually doesn't have any storage system in our body. It does not. So it either gets used or it gets used for recovery and building or it just gets pissed out.
Okay.
So you can't really like store it. Just like carbs get stored in liver and in our muscle cells. And then obviously fat gets stored in our fat cells, which we have an unlimited amount.
Yeah. There you go. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Carbs are not bad.
They're not bad. And what I try to tell people is just like, it's quantity. It's quantity. Like, carbs in isolation aren't bad, but too much carbs. I get that. That's the biggest thing that pisses me off and it kills me.
So like your average person, like how much like your average person carbs like take? If someone who's not like at the gym like 8 days a week,
like Ryan.
It's all going to be contingent on like the person's weight, and how much they're moving around. Like it does come down to like their actual like their body size and their activity level. And then you kind of work your way. I start from their base calories, and then I start with, and then I go to protein, and then from there I kind of ask them, hey, what's your preferred source, like energy source? Do you like fats or you like carbs? Most human beings are going to say carbs because fats are so calorie dense that you only eat a small amount, and you're like, that's fucking it.
Yeah,
like
that shit tastes good.
Yeah, it does. But look at someone's keto diet and look at someone's keto plate versus like. Versus a carb plate. You're gonna sit there and go a keto plate? This is bullshit.
So that being said, what do you think about? Because I've heard some good stories about fighters being on keto and they perform pretty well. So what's your opinion on that?
For fighters, for explosive athletes, no, absolutely not. For your everyday individual, my number one question I say to them is like, do you see yourself doing this for the next 50 years?
So sustainability.
100%. That's it. If you can sustain it, then you're good to go. Oh shit, man, do it. If my parents came to me, I want to do keto. Yeah, do it. If you can fucking do it for the rest of your life, go for it. Fighters, any type of explosive athletes, I don't think so, man.
Yeah,
we need because like carbohydrates are your immediate energy. So whatever muscle you're using to explode into certain techniques, it's being used. Like the carbohydrates in the muscles are being used. Yeah. So, but it'll take the fat a little bit longer to get to that area in order to explode. So it's gonna take a little bit longer in order for that to happen. So why wouldn't you just use the preferred source, the easiest source?
Yeah.
And go with carbs. So I've never had an athlete go keto. Like I've never worked with an athlete who does keto.
So what if an athlete came to you and be like, "Hey man, I really want to do keto." Would you be like, "Listen, I respect you for doing that, but I don't really work with people with keto," or would you kind of dive into it still?
No, I wouldn't dive into it. I would try to talk them out of it. So what I would do is I would just kind of discuss like what are the benefits of carbohydrates? What energy systems we use?
You would teach them basically.
I would teach them basics on what energy systems we use for our explosive system, and what energy systems we use and what those systems use, in which they are carbohydrates. Yeah. And I'm like, fats take a little bit longer to get to those areas in order for you to explode. If you actually watch closely some like keto athletes who are in explosive sports, they're not as explosive as their like carb counterpoints.
I'm trying to think of a couple of keto athletes.
I can't think of it. There's actually,
but you are right though, because when it comes to combat sports, like it's all about explosiveness at certain times and stuff like that, and we need that power, right?
Yeah.
We need that fuel.
And even even if you have like Olympic athletes,
Yeah.
same thing. High jump, long jump, sprinters, they're gonna use carbohydrates. They're gonna need it. They need that explosiveness. So like I would try to do my best to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
Like say, hey, listen, this is what energy systems we use for certain workouts, and the preferred source for that energy system. And I'm not lying. You can look it up. This is what they use. They use carbohydrates.
Yeah, it's not just an opinion of yours; it's a fact.
It's an actual fact.
Yeah.
You go online, you see whoever is explaining this shit. Talk with whoever. Look up any information. They're gonna say, guys, you're better off going high carb, like moderate fat, medium to high protein. If you're in a fight camp or you're in any type of camp for your sport, it's gonna be beneficial.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're definitely right. What about when it comes to like intermittent fasting, carnivore diet, stuff like that? What are your opinions on that?
So I laugh. I'm not laughing because like
You seem like you're laughing.
Yeah. Okay, so the whole idea with like intermittent fasting, whenever I talk to somebody, I'm like, oh, okay, what diets have you done before? And they're like, oh, I've done intermittent fasting. Obviously, I'm talking to a potential client, so I'm not gonna rip them at all. But in my head, I'm like, intermittent fasting is just fucking meal scheduling, right? It's not a diet.
I didn't even think of it like that, but 100%.
It's meal scheduling. It's no difference than like making your meals, like meal timing. That's all it is. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're not really doing a diet. You're just like you're waiting to eat. That's all it is. You're just scheduling your meals.
A bit of an oversimplification, but I kind of like it.
It's just that's how I see it, right? So I use intermittent fasting with people that need calorie control.
Yeah,
it's not superior to fat loss versus a calorie deficit.
Yeah,
they've done study upon study about that, and it's not superior. But if someone has an issue with overeating, so if they're like, oh, I tend to overeat at night, I say, okay, I'm not really hungry in the morning. Okay, so let's start you off at 12. Start eating at 12, and then we'll stop you at 10 o'clock at night, and then maybe we stack a few meals at night, maybe at 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'll stack 2 meals, maybe a meal and a snack, maybe something sweet that you like to hit your craving. And then maybe if you can go to bed on a somewhat of a full stomach, if it's not going to like disrupt your sleep patterns or at all, let's do it. So like I use it for calorie control, not because it's superior to fat loss.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. And what about carnivore?
I've never dove into that.
Really?
I never dove into that.
Do you want to?
Not really. No, I like the abundance of like the diversity of food that I like getting with vegetables, with fruit, with carbs, and with obviously meat as well. So I like to have my plate like just all different. I don't want to have like just 3 big ass steaks a day, a bunch of chicken, eggs, bacon, all that kind of stuff. So I just like I never dove into that. I never dove into like the health benefits to that. I know there are some. There's been a lot.
Pretty new too, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I find that. And what about vegans or vegetarians? What do you think about
If you do it right, do it right.
Yeah, it's hard to get that protein intake though.
It is tough. I've had a few friends. I had one close buddy. He was actually my first weight training coach. And like for the longest time, we started all hanging out again. And then like it took like 2 or 3 times where like it came up where he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I've been vegan for about 4 years. And I'm like,
oh wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, bro. I'm like, usually vegans tell you right away that they're vegan, or you can see it in their profile. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say. I hope you guys aren't vegan. I'm sorry. Ryan, I hope you're not vegan over there. So
he does not, guys.
Yeah. So no. So like he didn't like advertise it, but then I'm like, and he's in the nutrition world. I'm like, you doing it right? He goes, yeah. I'm taking all my B vitamins. I'm taking my iron pills if I need them. My iron levels are perfect. I'm getting my protein sources with source of vegan sources, whether it's tempeh, soy, tofu, all that kind of stuff. So I like to see people do it right. Then there's people that have told me what they do as a vegan and like and they didn't ask my opinion. They didn't, hey, what do you think? They just said, oh, this is what I do. And I go, yeah, good.
I'm happy for you.
Good. And I say, what's your protein sources? And like the answer I got from a couple people, no, worse. They're like spinach and cashews. Whew. I was like, oh my God. I was like, spinach and cashews? Are you? And then they're just like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I nod my head. I'm like, you do what you got to do. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, at the end of the day, it's totally adequate, but like for you to get that protein intake when it comes to being a vegan or vegetarian, very, very hard.
It's tough.
It's unless you want to, like you just mentioned, unless that supplementation's there constantly, That's a lot of supplementation.
There is supplementation, but they can have the vegan sources. Like you've got like the options like the legumes, like your chickpeas and black beans, but more importantly, like things like tempeh, seitan. There's like tofu. Like, you can go crazy with that. I don't know if I'd go as far as like doing the Beyond Meat burgers and whatnot.
I've never tried that.
I have never tried them either, so I don't know.
Well, there's more real things.
Yeah.
in a like a burger than that. There you go.
But apparently it's bad.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's bad.
What do you think about that documentary on Netflix? What was that vegan documentary?
I know what you're
you
saying.
know what I'm talking. What's it called?
Yeah. Game Changers.
The Game Changers. You know what's funny? So in the Game Changers, they did John Wilkes. Is that the fighter, the UFC ex-UFC fighter?
Yeah.
He said he went vegan, and all of a sudden he did battle ropes for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but did you see the footage of him doing battle ropes?
No.
Obviously, it was for like the movie, but he was just like he was doing the battle ropes at such a easy,
just pace?
like
Yeah,
relaxed pace. No difference if you're walking on a goddamn treadmill.
So you know what I did? So I ate a steak.
Okay.
And I did battle ropes for how long did I do? For like an hour and 5.
Yeah. But at what intensity?
Honestly, the first 10 minutes was a good pace. Then I had my biceps started really killing me, so I had to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I did was like 5 minutes like good pace, 5 minutes moderate, 5 minutes good pace and stuff like that. So I found that documentary more of it's not a documentary first of all. It's more of like well, I don't know. It was a little ridiculous. So what are your opinions on that?
I didn't like it. They were going after like the meat crowd. They're going after the people who eat meat. They demonized it. They used examples that were like far fetched. It was ridiculous. Like they used athletes that just started going vegan. They used bodybuilders that built their whole career off of eating meat, and they just became vegan.
Didn't Arnold have a say in it? But he also had some money in that.
He had some money involved. He jumped in randomly. What is it? I think Kai Green, bodybuilder. He jumped in there, but he was only vegan for like 6 months.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, there was a powerlifter or a strongman.
Yeah. Big ass dude. Yeah. I remember that guy. Yeah.
But he lost to the meat eater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think everybody's obviously entitled to do whatever they want, but let's not forget that, like, you know, that these sources are there for a reason. And if I totally am okay with people doing it for ethical reasons and stuff like that. That's your opinion. That's your thing. But it's just harder to get your protein in, especially if you're an athlete. Yeah. Than, you know, eating meat. That's just the way it is.
It's funny too, because like you have these sides, right? And people, obviously we're in a world where we pick sides when it comes to that. We're so like tribal when it comes to shit like that. So the omnivore side, like people who eat meat, who eat vegetables, who eat everything under the sun, they'll be like, hey man, you do what you got to do. Like if you want to go vegan, as long as you do it right. We have that opinion. But then you talk to a vegan, they'll demonize us. They'll say you shouldn't do this. This is rude.
Like only one vegan who was nice to me. I think I've only met one vegan who was nice to me because she was like, you know what though? Because she didn't start off as a vegan. She was a former like meat eater and everything like that. And she's like, Norm, some days I miss the smell of a steak. And like, I'm like, I appreciate that shit. Yeah. But she doesn't judge and stuff like that. And we're kind of going on a tangent about vegans, but at the end of the day, it tends to be a little judgy. It is judgy, and it's most of the time, the people like you and I are like, if you want to be vegan, do it. But they're like, you know, you're doing this and you're killing this. It's like, okay, sure, that's your opinion, but you don't have to like shove it in my face. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know? So I don't appreciate that.
We're like the omnivore side will sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, like do what you gotta do. Like we're okay with it. And then the vegan side, like you said, they're just gonna come after us. Yeah. And then they're gonna go into their little echo chamber and be like, can you believe that guy? Fuck him. Like it's just like, okay, cool.
It's true.
Yeah, good for you. Like you wanna like do what you gotta do. Like don't come to me in 20 years and be like, oh, like my body's withering away. Like I feel like I'm not strong anymore. Like I'm like I didn't do the right things. And I'm like, that's your fucking fault. Yeah. Like, what do you want from me?
It's true. So what about supplementation? What kind of supplementation do you take for yourself? So answer that first.
So supplements I take, number one is creatine.
100%. Why is
Love it.
creatine getting so famous now when it's been like around forever?
Because again, like we're in an age where like information is becoming so easily accessible.
Yeah.
So there has been no like negative studies coming out about why creatine is so good for you, bad for you. So there's creatine is like everything for you, like you need it. Like for those explosive workouts, you need, like, it provides you with more ATP. Obviously, creatine gives you that ATP. It helps with like lean muscle mass. All those certain things are going to help you. And
There's been some studies on concussions too, that it's helped neurologically
Yeah.
with people, right?
like cognition. It's
Yeah.
huge for that.
Yeah.
Like even if like I was trying to get my parents on it.
Mhm.
Like obviously it's tough to like, because it's more of a behavioral thing where it's like, hey, you got to take this every day. It's like, what, this powder? Just take the goddamn
Well,
powder.
people don't understand the saturation period, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to take about 25. You have to get to a saturation period of what, 25 grams or 30?
Saturation. Well, you can do a loading period.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a loading period of like 20 grams for about 6 days, and then you do 10 grams for a couple days, and then you
5
go
grams.
5 grams infinitely.
Yeah.
And that gives you, and that fully saturates you. If you don't need it right away in your body, you can just do 5 grams, 1 scoop, and within 3.5 weeks, it's saturated in your muscles, and you see a difference.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, there's been helps with lean muscle mass, power output, and now cognition, that they're down now that they're doing studies on that, because every other study has been positive when it comes to physical.
Mhm.
Now it's the mental game.
Well, it's funny because I had I train AAA hockey kid, and he wants to get on creatine so bad, but he wants to go and get on creatine for the wrong reason. So because his friends are getting on creatine, and he's thinking that it's going to add his bench to like 315.
How old is he?
16.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I did creatine when I was like 16, but it's hard because he's like, can you like help my parents understand? It's like, that's up to your parents at the end of the day. I can educate them.
Yeah.
And I try to talk to them a little bit better about it, but there's this false idea that it's like, oh, you're going to have like liver or kidney function, like failure and stuff like that. So it's kind of frustrating because like you Google it, and right away there's some negative things about it, right? If you Google something negative, you'll get something negative.
You get some, because
right?
you're searching for
You're
it.
looking for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
of course you're gonna get something negative.
So if you talk to those parents, just say to them, listen, like our bodies produce this thing called ATP, and we produce it, and we get it from certain foods. We get it from meat sources. So
Well,
yeah, there you
you
go.
get it from creatine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we
You get it from steak.
Yeah, you get it from there, but like, and your body uses this component
Mhm.
for those lifts or any explosive movements from like 6 to 10 seconds.
Mhm.
But guess what? All creatine's doing is just giving you more of that, what they call ATP.
Mhm.
So they're just providing you with more
Mhm.
of what your body's already
I
creating.
know. Yeah.
And or it was already in your body. So if you want to explain that to them, just say, hey, listen, it's not some crazy, it's not like an anabolic steroid. It's not gonna like
it's sold like that sometimes, though.
it makes people think like,
It's,
you
see the promotion for it. It's just some jack guy being like, "Yeah, I take this. You take that and a couple other things."
yeah,
But-
oh yeah, buddy, yeah, come on, some Mexican supplements, bro. We
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly.
And what I found like years ago is that people, I think they didn't know how to take it
Yeah.
because they got bloated from it. They got too big, and then they claimed that it was creating like too much water weight within their bodies. I was like, no, man, it's not how it goes, man. Like that's not how it is at all.
Mhm.
It's just putting more, it's putting more water into your muscles.
Yeah, I remember when guys took creatine, like what was it, Ryan? Purple K.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Purple K in like in grade 9 or grade 10. Jesus Christ, Ryan really likes the bourbon, eh?
Damn.
So they were like getting diesel. But
Yeah.
everybody's like, it's just water weight. It's like, you're not understanding really what this does.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But that's a false idea on that. So what other supplementation do you like?
Okay, so I go with, main thing is creatine,
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
Next one is I do ever since this the whole pandemic came down, more vitamin D, D3.
How much are you taking?
Right now, because it's summertime, I'm only doing about 2,000 IU a day.
Okay.
So it's
In the winter, how much you were taking?
I was taking about 4.
So I was thinking, I've been experimenting with 6.
Okay.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And same thing in the summer. No reason to take more because I'm out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm the kind of person to stay. It's like I love going out. Even in the winter, I like going outside. So it's something, right? But I've always heard there's some new studies that I've been reading about vitamin D at around like 6 to 9. What's the measurements again? What's it called?
IUs, international units.
Yeah, international units. That it actually is a little bit of a testosterone enforcer. So,
Interesting.
so I've read. I'll send you a link of actually.
Yeah,
the
I haven't seen that yet.
I'll send you a link of what I've been reading. So I was like, oh, more vitamin D. That's okay, and it's nothing too crazy that I'm doing, so I might as well try it. So I've been playing around with that. What else do you like? So vitamin D.
So you got the vitamin D. I do zinc and quercetin for your immune function.
Good.
Yeah, I just got into that like recently. So I do those. I do those too. Sometimes I give myself a little bit of a boost with just like a vitamin C powder.
Like the 1,000 milligram one.
Yeah. So I'll do like
emergency.
an eighth. Yeah, like I'll do like an eighth of a teaspoon because that gives you like the amount of vitamin C you need. Whatever, just like kind of loads me up a little bit. And then once I want to like get into like serious, more fight camp related, more like hardcore training, I'll start adding in Beta-Alanine.
I like Beta-Alanine. To go back to your vitamin C though, I've been experimenting with putting vitamin C in my pre-workout.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that before?
No.
I've read a couple of things that it's helped with bioavailability of the ingredients in it.
Interesting.
And I really like the mix of that. So just to kind of give you a little something.
Yeah, I like that.
New,
and you know what? Anytime I get like interesting information I never heard before, like I'll go and look it up. I like looking it up. I like seeing what's going on.
Man. I stay up late at night and just look at research papers on different kinds of supplementation and different trainings and stuff like that.
The thing with that is, and I always try to tell people whenever they read, and like we always have those headline regurgitators where they'll read a headline from fucking Stacy who writes a blog. She's like a mother of two, and then like it's just like okay.
That's
it's like saying, okay, so what did you say? And then she's like, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. And usually they rip on some sort of like some sort of I don't know, like something that's out there, like with hey, don't eat that or try this or try that.
It's all about headlines.
Yeah, you're like, yo, you have a website, you have a blog. Who cares? Like,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but you when you read up on that certain studies, you kind of have to see, hey, what's out there? Like do other studies kind of add on to that? Do they actually agree to this?
Usually what I do is I'll look up one study and I'll try to find another study that combats against it, and I can try to find like what's in the middle ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then because usually that's kind of the truth. It's like the gray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll look up different ones and kind of compare. It's like, okay, all these people said this, but nobody said this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Beta-Alanine.
Yeah.
How much do you take around during trading?
I do. See, you got to take Beta-Alanine, and
it's because it's the same. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's the same thing as saturation period, correct?
Yeah. So it's around. It'll be the 3-week period, just like creatine. You need the thing with that is you need to take that in like I give them a half teaspoon. I have I get the measuring spoons, half teaspoon in the actual Beta-Alanine container, and you got to take it 4 of those a day. You should only be taking about 1.6 grams per dose, and then give yourself a couple hours. Reason being is because if you take too much at once, it gives you the skin tingling.
Yeah, we all know what that is.
Yeah. So
because even I've seen it. It's so annoying, but I've seen those TikToks. It's like, you know, that itchy feeling in a pre-workout. I'm like, you mean Beta-Alanine? Alanine.
Alanine. Yeah.
So it's so fresh right now with TikTok.
Oh yeah, but they do that with Beta-Alanine because they used to do that and they put so much in. They put about 4 grams in.
Well, sometimes you put like 3 to 4 grams. I've actually had a pre-workout that had 6,400 milligrams.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
It's wild.
Yeah, 6.4 grams. Yeah,
I mean, it did give me a little bit of a little extra, but edge. But that's too much.
But what gave you the extra edge? Was it the caffeine that was in there? Was it the taurine? There's so many other factors that added.
Yeah.
So what they do is they give you that component in the pre-workout so that obviously there's little triggers. I find that happens with that. So what happens is once you start feeling the skin tingling, you're like, oh shit, it's on now. So it's like a trigger where your body goes, oh, we're on now. It's working.
Yeah, you're definitely right. There's a false urgency when it's like, oh, the Beta-Alanine's kicking in. This must be working, right? Which is false.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
So I totally agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so beta, what else?
I'm trying to think back. So we got creatine, vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, Beta-Alanine.
You ever play around with ashwagandha or anything to help with
cortisol
levels?
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they've been talking a lot about that recently, about how it does help with cortisol levels, helps with sleep quality as well. At night, actually I do magnesium glycinate, helps to calm down the body. And if I know that I'm going to be up, I got to drop in some melatonin.
How many milligrams?
You should start small because obviously like you're more sensitive to it. So start like at 3 milligrams. Right now I'm at 5. I can handle like a 5 little capsule of 5 milligrams, but you shouldn't like start if you've never taken before, start with 3 milligrams. You don't need that much.
Well, you're exactly to what you just said. Like a lot of people are like, okay, let's go to the highest dosage of 5, right? But like start small because maybe if 2 milligrams works for you, stick with 2 milligrams, right?
The highest dosage is fucking 10.
I think I read a study the other day that if you actually use about 20, it becomes more of a stimulant.
Jesus.
Have you read that?
I have not, but I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that shit, man. Well, maybe we drop 20 and go to a rave.
Yeah. Oh god. I'm done. Okay. So anything else with supplementation?
No, that's pretty much it.
Have you ever played around with a couple of pre-workouts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've done some of the pre-workouts that Perfect Sports has. Altered State.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I read the formula on that one.
Same idea. It does the job. A little bit high on the beta-alanine, but like since I got used to it, my body can handle it. But you give someone a scoop of Altered State, and they're just fucking.
They're in an altered state.
Oh my god, they're scratching their skin right off. But yeah, no, like that Altered State's pretty good. Yeah. I like Altered State.
Shout out to Perfect Sports.
Yeah, Perfect Sports.
Shout out.
By the way, if you want to get some 20% off, we do have there is the promotion when you go to checkout. It's Bazooka 20, and you get 20% off your order. Any supplements from Perfect Sports.
There you
go.
What other kind of supplementation do they have?
They've got protein.
I think they have like thermogenic.
Yeah.
They have
the fat burning. Actually, if you go to the category where it gives you the fat burning supplements, it's actually made for kind of like a pre-workout as well. Oh, really? It's kind of have some of the same components. It's like shit. Why not jump into that? But they've got some of the best tasting proteins I've ever had. They've got some.
Really?
Yes.
What's your favorite?
Favorite's got to be maple waffle and triple rich chocolate.
These wild flavors now, man.
No, listen. I know there's so many guys always say like, try this, man. It tastes exactly like this. It's like, dude, this tastes like fucking cardboard. Shut up. But literally, you have maple waffle, and anyone listening, anyone watching, you have maple waffle. You will not go back to anything else. Maple waffle is number 1.
Wow.
100%. Put it in any recipe, put it in anything you want. Like even just with water, it's fucking incredible.
All right.
So now you go.
Buying some maple waffle.
Perfect Sports. Yeah. Bazooka 20.
Bazooka 20.
20% off at checkout.
I love it. Okay. So a little bit back to the nutrition. To people who are just trying to eat a little bit healthier at home, what are some tips and what are some things some easy things that they can kind of get back on track? Because let's be honest, everybody said, COVID hasn't been nice to me. COVID gave me the COVID 20. First it was COVID 10. Now it's COVID 20. Tomorrow's going to be COVID 30. Okay. So let's just give the audience a little bit of some tips to just get back on track.
Okay. I'm going to say start off with your hydration.
So how much hydration? How much?
It honestly, like if you want to get into the weeds of it, like it all obviously varies with like the people's body weight and whatever. If you want to keep it simple, shit, man, like 2 to 3 liters a day includes like coffee and So it's like a liter, right? It's 1 liter. So like 2 to 3 of these a day. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. You're going to go to the bathroom a little bit more often than you usually do, but it's better for your hydration, helps out. Mm-hmm. That includes like coffees and teas as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. Get your hydration on. Mm-hmm. Next thing I say is just listen,
So why hydration? What's hydration gonna help with?
It just helps you like flush out the toxins throughout your body. It does keep you hydrated. So if you are working out, you're moving around, you do feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. So that's the main focus. You need your hydration, like, and obviously like you don't want your body cramping up. Mm-hmm. So like if you're not like drinking any water, you become dehydrated. This is not good, man. Mm-hmm. Like being dehydrated in general. If you've seen fighters trying to cut weight and they're dehydrated, dude, they look like shit.
Yeah, they look like death.
Yeah, so you don't want to do that. So I always start with get your hydration in. Okay, so you want and hydration helps with digestion, everything like that. So you need that, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, and then I always ask how many meals they have a day. I said, listen, let's keep it basic. 3 meals and 3 snacks. Make sure 2 of those snacks are fruits. Start with that. Keep it simple. Fruits. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 3 meals, 3 snacks. 2 of those meals or 2 of those snacks are fruits. And then in all 3 meals, they have to have a source of protein in it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then 2 of those meals, maybe just have some form of carb. Mm-hmm. Complex carb, whatever, or simple carb, doesn't matter. As long as you're not overeating, you're not going to get fat from it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then on one of the snacks, maybe try to add in a protein source. A lot of people, they don't want to sit it back and be like, I always recommend, listen, easy protein source. If you already have 3 protein sources in those 3 meals, maybe add in a protein shake. Like, I don't take protein shakes. It's like, why? It's not bad. It's not bad for you. Like, it's not like, it's not steroids. Like, relax, eh? Like it's not fake. Like, it's not like you're fine.
Oh, see, Ryan, it's not just steroids, okay?
Come on.
There's like a snake on the bottle.
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
That's
So so I give them that. So I give them the hydration, 3 meals, 3 snacks. See how your body like responds to that. And if they're not measuring, a lot of people don't want to measure. I get that. And a lot of clients I work with, I make sure that they measure their food because obviously they want to get serious about their nutrition. So I say, we're going to measure it out on a scale. It gets easier as you go. Once you're done working with me, you won't really have to measure. You'll eyeball it. You'll understand what you're doing. Your calories will be sufficient. So I tell people, if you're not working with me directly, just eyeball it on your plate. Okay. Eyeball it on your plate. If you notice like a couple days go by and you have 3 meals, 3 snacks, but you feel fucking bloated. You feel like crap. What does that mean? Obviously you ate way too much. Take an audit of yourself, understand what you're doing and say, hey, listen, maybe I'll cut down a couple portions, cut down some of my fat source portions, cut down some of my carb portions, and then see how I feel. See what, like, cause everyone's individualized. We don't know how we're going to feel. Like, a food might make me feel good, make you feel like crap. So we got to like, you know what, like take that initiative.
Yeah. Everybody's bodies are like fingerprints, right? What works for me may not work for you.
Exactly.
There's a little bit of a guideline, a little bit of blueprint, but after that, it gets a little complicated, right?
Exactly.
We had somebody earlier on the podcast about gut health. What are your opinions on gut health? What do you do for your own gut health?
I just like with gut health, I haven't gotten like too into like the gut health. Obviously there are good things when it comes to like keep your fiber up. Fiber up with your gut health. I don't really do too much. Like I know like people do like apple cider vinegar. They do kombucha. They do a lot of those stuff that come out. It is what it is. If you keep like a proper like food intake when it comes to like certain foods, keep your fiber intake up, keep your fruits in there. It's going to help your gut health. It's going to help. There are certain things that can help you, obviously, but like just like try to keep an all around like as natural as you can like make it when it comes to food intake. Like stay away from a lot of the crap out there. Obviously, when it comes to certain things like they're like alcohol consumption, like overeating, like eating some of the wrong foods, even like eating too much fat. Certain things like that will disrupt some of your gut health. And when it comes to that. Okay.
So we got the hydration, the 3 meals, 3 snacks, 2 of them being fruit.
2 of them being fruit.
So what if somebody has like a sweet tooth?
I always say like add in.
What if they're used to like some kind of dessert?
Yeah.
What are you going to suggest for them if they're used to some kind of dessert?
I always say like find some sort of protein bar that's more dessert liking, like something like a flavor you like out of a Cliff Bar, or if anything, like if most people like direct message me on Instagram, I've always replied to every DM when it comes to my nutrition, when it comes to my nutrition account, because I'm like, listen, I'm going to help you if you have a question, because guess what? When I was coming up, and I'm still coming up now, but like I asked people their opinions, they always gave me an answer. So I'm always going to repay the favor. So things like if you direct message me and say, hey, I have a sweet tooth. What can I do? Oh, here's this recipe I have of like a s'mores pizza. That's only this amount of calories. I have this chocolate mug cake. That's only like 300 calories. Like things like that, where I would tell people, find like some sort of sweet treat that you want and keep it for the end of the night. Yeah. Keep it for that. And I've given clients like desserts every day. Yeah. Homemade desserts that they make.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? During COVID, COVID, whatever is still happening, but during one of the lockdowns, your reels and your meals looked bomb.
Yeah.
Looked bomb, man. I was like, damn. I was like, this guy's I think one time he made like a Big Mac salad.
Yeah.
But it was completely like everything nutritionally was on point. I was like, I gotta make that at home.
Yeah.
So that being said, when it comes to like, so I got a sweet tooth. So usually if I'm like crave something sweet, Greek yogurt, I'll put chocolate protein in it. I'll mix it up with some chopped up strawberries.
Yeah.
And in my head, that's an ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it is, fairly sweet. It kind of craves like my sweet tooth. So that's kind of one of the things I do to curb that craving.
Well, it's perfect. Well, think about it. Like you're saying is a sweet tooth. It's like a dessert. It's like, man, you've got yogurt.
Mhm.
You've got protein. You put your fruit in there, which is
Yeah.
like full of vitamins, minerals, and got your fiber in there too.
Mhm.
So it's like, motherfucker, that's some good shit right there.
I
Like
know.
a lot of people.
Well, when I-
that's
'cause
one.
I count-
That's one of my.
I
That's one
count
of my
my
options.
macros, right?
That's
So I
good.
looked at it. I'm like, this is not bad actually.
It's not bad at all.
Right? This is a good snack actually for
Yeah.
lunch.
If you want to go, a step further.
Okay, let's
This,
go.
this is here we go.
Let's
Here, you
go.
ready for this?
Let's go.
It's not that, you know what? It's not the craziest thing. Like people always say, like, you know, when people always say, like, try this, it tastes like that. It's
Yeah,
like, bitch, it doesn't taste like that.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but when it comes to like I'll make like almond milk ice cream. Almond milk ice cream, yes. So I'll do a little bit of almond milk. I'll do a scoop of protein powder. I'll do cocoa powder. I'm good. Okay. I'll do cocoa powder. And
Make
then
me look bad, man. I'm
just
enjoying this
just go.
bourbon.
As I just like talk about how it's like you shouldn't drink too much alcohol. It's not the greatest for you. But if you get me on one of those nights, I'll take down a goddamn bar. I'll take down a goddamn bar. It gets crazy.
Okay.
My coach always tells me, he's like, I don't understand with you. He goes, like, we're all hanging out, like if we're all sober, everyone's like relaxed and chill. It's like you get one drink in you and you turn into like fucking Frank the Tank from Old School.
my God. No-
and I'm like, it's true.
No streaking though, right?
What? No streaking.
There's that one time.
There was
that one time.
I think was there one time? I think there could have been the one time, like there's sometime in Guelph University.
I was gonna say there's one time in college.
There's
always that one time in college.
Yeah, they're coming through the gymnasium, you know, going through the quad.
Anyways.
But yeah, so for the ice cream,
Yeah.
honestly, like unsweetened almond milk, protein powder, cocoa powder,
Yeah.
and you put what you got to do to like thicken everything up. You put in this thing called xanthan gum. You get in the bakery section. Get xanthan gum, throw it all in. And maybe like you get a low sugar syrup, maybe 2 tablespoons of it. Throw it all together. Put it in like a nice little blender. It blends together. It comes thick.
Anabolic ice cream right there.
That's it, anabolic. That become like the new word on TikTok. It's like
I
try
know.
this anabolic
Anabolic.
meal. It's like why? Because it's between 20 and 50
I
grams.
know,
Okay,
I
of
know.
protein. I get it, but try that out for like a nice protein ice cream.
I'll try that.
It's not bad. Like it gives you what, like a 30-gram, like 25 to 30 grams of protein.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's
so
nothing.
that being said, can you debunk or at least tell people why? Because there's this fake thing that everybody's saying you can only absorb 30 grams of protein at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not true, right?
No, it's not necessarily true. So there's this. There has been a lot of things coming out recently about like the what you get the most out of, like when it comes to an anabolic effect.
Mhm.
Obviously, like anabolic meaning like just building a
Mhm.
muscle, like repairing, all that kind of stuff. So you do get quite a good benefit from like the 20 to 50 gram range,
Mhm.
and spreading those out in 4 meals throughout the day is going to be more beneficial than if you were to just do 2 meals of 100 grams.
Yeah.
It
100
would
grams
be.
of protein in a meal is a lot. man.
It is.
That's
It would be a lot.
lot.
But like, yeah, have you ever been to like a Brazilian steakhouse?
Twice.
Shit. Yeah. You probably take that shit down. You wake up in the middle of the night with meat sweats, man.
I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But yes.
You wake up sweating. You open up a door or a window. You're like, I need this fucking
It's
draft,
true, it's
man.
true, it's
But yeah, no, there is a benefit. When it comes to calories, it's on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like how many calories you intake, like carbs and your fats. But I'm more strict on the protein intake per day. Like don't just have like 1 meal full of protein or 2 meals full of protein. No, like you have to have. I recommend the 3 meals with that protein in there, and that one snack being a protein shake or protein ice cream, whatever you want to make, and having those 4 intakes.
Yeah.
Throughout the day. Now, let me say, like if you have 60 grams of protein in a meal. It doesn't mean that you're going to absorb 50 grams and then that 10 grams is just going to like go away. Like it's not going to be say, oh, you're wasted. No, it's not going to be wasted, but you get more benefits out of keeping it in that range of 20 to 50 grams. So I do recommend that. So I do tell people, like, listen, if it's on a daily basis of the food intake, it's all about worry about the protein. When it comes to a weekly intake, think about your overall calories as your weekly intake, and then your proteins, your daily intake.
I love it. Okay. Anything else for people just trying to get a little healthier, trying to lose a little bit of weight when it comes to nutrition?
Consistency.
Oh,
Consistency.
That's true.
Consistency. All right. Consistency, sustainability. And you know what? Like when it comes, instead of going from just talking about nutrition, like fucking move more. Sorry, just move more. Just go out, just go out and go for a walk. Do something. Do some form of like physical activity. Do something you love to do physically. And like a lot of times people always go like, I'm not a gym kind of guy. I don't do this. I don't do that. I'm like, yeah, but what do you like to do physically?
Yeah.
It's like, I like to go play tennis or I like to do golf. I'm like, okay, go do that more.
Yeah, go kill that.
Yeah, go to the driving range.
Yeah.
Like do something.
Yeah.
Like do what you love to do, because guess what? That's like I said, like my number one rule. Do you see yourself doing that in the next 50 years? Make that the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Make that the rule where it's like, okay, what physical activity can I see myself doing till the day I fucking die?
Yeah.
For me, I'm going till the wheels fall off. I'll be training and fighting. Well, training, not fighting, till the wheels fall.
Till the wheels fall off.
Like when it comes to training, when it comes to like lifting, I'll do that like up until like I'll be lifting on like a Monday or Tuesday, and then like Thursday, Friday, I'll drop dead. That's how it's gonna work.
Okay, I love
That's
it.
how it is. It's gonna be like when I'm about 98, 96, 99.
Okay.
Let's call it that.
That's all right.
But like
99.
yeah, I'm giving myself that. Maybe 100.
Okay.
Maybe I'll run a marathon when I'm 100. The first guy to do
That's
it.
gangster.
Yeah, that'd be
that.
sick.
There's nobody that's done it?
I don't know. I'm just assuming
You'd
they
be the
haven't.
first.
Yeah.
As somebody did it at 99, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that would take.
that'd be
a long
wild.
time.
That'd be wild.
That'd be wild.
That's what I mean. Like I'm always thinking about sustainability when it comes to everything. When it comes to physical activity, when it comes to diet, when it comes to nutrition, make it sustainable, man.
So speaking on alcohol and stuff like that. So people who a little bit younger, they're trying to eat healthier, but they enjoy going out for a couple of drinks. And stuff
Hell yeah.
like that. What would you suggest for people who would want to go out, still want to enjoy their young life, still working hard? What would you suggest for them to do while drinking still? How are they going to sustain either their fat loss or just a healthy life? Yeah, if they want to sustain like their fat loss and they are counting calories, they got to know that they're like obviously like these are called obviously empty calories, but they still have some sort of caloric value that you can measure. So you know what, like when you're going out, I tell people exactly when you're going out, never like if you're gonna like substitute, because I'm big with like my clients and I always tell people, listen, like if I'm working with you as a general population like Gen Pop client, I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to stop your life. Like you're not just going to become, I'm not going to become a drill sergeant, and I'm not going to say you're fucking eating this, you're eating this, you're eating this. If you think about even looking at an Oreo cookie, I'll know. And it's fucking over. Right. You hear that, Ryan? It's fucking over.
But with that being said, if Ryan over here hires me and he goes, listen, Matt, all right, listen, I need to have 3 Snickers bars a week, or I need to have 3-4 Oreos. I just gotta do it. I gotta do it. I'm like, okay, if you having this component in your diet, will that make everything, like, will that make you 100% on your diet strict for the rest of the time? And he goes, yeah. I say, Ryan, we're going to give you 3 Snickers bars a week, but we're going to fit that in with the calorie. I love with the calories. I'm going to do that for you because I want you to know that it's a flexible type of lifestyle. Like I'm not going to say, listen, the whole flexible eating is getting like a bad rap right now. They're getting ripped on. It's like, oh, these guys are fucking eating Pop-Tarts and marshmallows all day.
If it fits your macros, right?
If
it fits my macros. But it's funny because I tell people like, because of me doing macro counting, it makes me more balanced and more like my lifestyle is a little bit better because I'm not so strict constantly, right? Yeah. Opposed to being like, there's a lot of people who be really strict for like 10, 20 days, and then they binge hard, right? But because I have that flexibility, okay, I did. And I know the consequences of that, right? I know the consequences if I have a very lean breakfast, a lean lunch, okay, I can add a little extra at dinner. But that works for me. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody.
Exactly. So I always tell people, I was like, listen, if you need certain things, if you have like, and that's where like when I work with people, when I'm speaking to them for the first time, and then they decide they want to hire me, I say, all right, we got to find your pain points. We got to find, it's not just, I'm not going to give you a cookie cutter meal plan, and then I'm not going to talk to you for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Instagram? You mean Instagram in general?
Yeah. Basically, buy my program.
My program. 12 days. No
12 days. Yeah. Or those magazines you see at the grocery store lineup. It's like lose 20 pounds in 5 days with this juice cleanse. I just like. Get me started oh my god! Like the people who love juice cleanses, or like those protocols where they just take certain things and they end up shitting their brains in the morning or night.
And they're like, oh, I lost so much weight. I'm like, but it was just garbage in you.
It's terrible.
That's all. It wasn't real.
No, it wasn't real.
Bullshit. It wasn't real.
It's like though. It's like if I'm gonna rip on these guys, I'm gonna rip on them. For the people that like they do keto and they're just like, I lost all this weight. I'm like, you lost a little bit of weight. No, sorry, you lost a little bit of fat, but you lost a lot of water weight. I'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah,
when you're the
basically.
exact same as you were when you started.
Basically.
Yeah. So I try to talk to people about their behavioral issues and their environmental, everything to do with their behavioral and environmental. So like if they know that they have certain things in the house that they shouldn't have, let's take those out. Let's take away that temptation. Why we have those things that are going to trigger your body and your mind to go, I want to fucking grab those things. Okay. If Ryan over here is going to grab fucking 3 Snickers bars a week.
Ryan feels bullied right
No,
now.
but this is good though. Like,
No,
hey,
it's
you
good.
brought up the culprit. We're getting him now.
guy.
Yeah. So if Ryan like goes to the grocery store on like Saturday and only buys the 3 Snickers bars and he knows that he's going to have it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But then all throughout all the rest of his meals, everything else, he's fucking disciplined. He's on. And his calorie control is there. His protein's on. His hydration's on. Everything's good. He's moving around a lot. I know he says he likes curling. No. His physical activity, whatever he wants to do his physical activity. But he does everything perfect. But then he only has, but if he told someone, oh, I also have 3 Snickers bars a week, they're gonna be like, that motherfucker's unhealthy. Slowly, he is gonna, like, his body is gonna take shape. He's gonna start becoming more healthy because he's got some form of flexibility where it's hitting his cravings and it's doing the job. Instead of him going for 3 months, he's going fucking like full military, full like, you know what, like this is what I'm doing. I'm doing these 3 meals. And this is all I'm doing.
1 in a million people who can do that.
Certain people that can do that, right? And but then after 3 months, that's it. They go. Like they'll binge, they'll fly off the handle, and then their excuse is like, oh, I tried this thing, it just wasn't for me. I'm like, you know what, you gotta find, you gotta pinpoint what your issues are first when it comes to behavioral, environmental, and some things that you like, some things you don't like, and we gotta pinpoint that. So when I talk to people about this, like you said, I have a sweet tooth at night. I'm like, shit, okay, Norm, what we're going to do is we're going to program a meal at like 7:30 and then we're going to give you a snack at like fucking 9 o'clock. So you're eating something while you're watching like Netflix, whatever you want to watch. And then like you're enjoying
Yellowstone,
yourself.
dog.
Oh man, that's wild.
Yellowstone.
Are you done
Ozark?
it?
No, Ozark.
Ozark.
Right now,
Both of them are just fucking wild.
I like
Are you done Yellowstone?
Honestly, I like watch like little recaps of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I don't even like, I skip the bullshit.
But you watched all the way through?
I'm pretty much all the way through right now, but Ozark, I actually like wait and like watch it all.
Yeah.
So Ozark, I'm watching right
Yo,
now.
Jason Bateman turned into a motherfucker, right?
He used to be this like horrible bot. You know, he was a lot of people don't know he was Teen Wolf 2.
Oh shit, I never
Yeah,
saw
he's
I never saw
exactly
it. Yeah.
right. Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah.
But now this guy is like Ozark and Cap people.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just the way.
Well,
it is.
everything I've watched with him, he's been basically comedy. So when I see him in Ozark, I'm like sitting there at the beginning, I was trying to get him in that role, and then he fucking killed it. I'm like, oh, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the
I'm calling it
motherfucker.
right now. In that final season of Ozark, his wife is killing him.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now.
Oh, she's a bad bitch, eh?
She sucks.
But he does. I like how he does put her in line sometimes. Yeah.
Well, he tries and
but
then she's like, you know what? Yeah, and then she pulls her own shit.
Yeah, it's just fuck. I got other like
Opinions?
views on. I got other opinions on the way Netflix series are going right now, and with our whole the way our culture is going right now when it comes to certain empowerment and trying to breed beta males. There's a lot of things going on right now. No, honestly,
get into it.
It is though.
Let's
It's so
get
true.
into it.
If you watch some of the new series on Netflix, you're gonna see shit like they're emphasizing a lot of like the whole women empowerment, which I'm not against. Obviously, like it's good. Like get that out there. It's like you're doing good for yourself.
Okay.
But then they're really like glamorizing these beta males, and the beta
That's what I
males is
don't like,
becoming
yeah.
it's bullshit.
Yeah. Have you ever read into the red pill and the blue pill formula and stuff like that?
Not really. No.
Not really.
No. Go for it.
I've read into it and I'm like, this is wild. This is super, super wild. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
Too much for me.
There's just a lot of bullshit going on right now that we're seeing like in the media that's really trying to glamorize certain things, and it's just it's killing me, and I'm just like I don't want to be like labeled as like a hater or doing this or doing that. It's just like,
well, no, I mean, listen, like I'm all about opinions. You know what I mean? So what's your let me know. What's your opinion here? What's your opinion with the Netflix thing? Let's go.
Exactly what I specified. I think they are trying to really like they are pushing like women empowerment. They're trying to push, you know, like women are doing great things, which is I think they are. Like I like seeing that kind of stuff. Right? You don't want it to be the way it was 50 years ago because that was kind of fucking crazy.
Kind of whack.
But like keep doing what you're doing when it comes to women doing their thing, like women like running their own business, doing their like they're becoming like so like self-sufficient. They're becoming like great at what they're doing, which I love to see.
But what you don't like is bringing down men for them.
They are doing that.
Yeah, I know.
And they're glamorizing the whole beta males. They're trying to say, oh, like beta males are sexy and all that shit. And then any girls I've ever talked to, I'm like, listen, I always try to get their opinion. I'm like, tell me, do you find a beta male sexy?
Mm-hmm.
And every one of them would say, fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it or not, when a girl's walking down the street with a guy, okay, they want to know if, even though we don't live in that time anymore, but they want to know if something does fucking pop off. Anything primal pops off.
I agree.
They know that they'll know that the guy's there. The guy can fucking handle the situation.
No,
okay?
I agree. I do honestly I do agree with that. Like, there's a certain kind of protection that a woman should feel.
Yeah,
right.
Which is not we're not saying that like the men are like up here. They're not like they're up on the hierarchy. No, we're just saying like sometimes we have a certain role to play. Like if someone, if you're with your family, your wife in bed at night, and like someone breaks into the fucking house, what's going on? You're going down. The man's going down.
Yeah.
To see what's going on.
because this is my family.
100%.
100%.
I'm okay with that.
I agree with that.
So it's just one of those things. If you have a fucking beta male husband, and he's like, okay, we'll hide under the bed and we'll try to call the cops and hopefully they get here in time before this guy murders us all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that sexy to a girl? No.
I leave down a comment below if that's sexy to a girl.
Yeah, if beta male's sexy to a girl, please hit the comment, DM me, like tell me that's what you think. Let me know because I don't know. It could be like controversial if they want to talk about that.
There are some women who do like that though.
Yeah,
there are, but those are not the women you want anyway.
No, right? Sometimes people go into sometimes people they're in a relationship and they turn into a beta male. Sometimes there's like an alpha woman that shows up and then like I was caught into something like that.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I love a strong opinion like alpha woman.
Okay.
But at the same time, so am I.
Yes,
I ain't gonna have a strong opinion too.
Do you mesh pretty good with like an like
to
an
be
alpha
honest,
female,
the more ambition, the more opinion that a female has, the more attracted I am to them because that shit is attractive to me. That being said, don't you ever think I'm a layover for things. Now, obviously, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to things, there always has to be some compromise, right? But that being said, for example, I went to go visit my fiance's parents in Vancouver, and they talked about like happy life, happy wife, and stuff like that, and like the honey-do list. And I was like, that is not me. Like, I will always try to like love you, respect you, and try to do right by you. But I'm not one of these like guys who are just like, hey, yes, whatever you want. That's just not how it works for me. You know what I mean? I will always do the best by you because that's what at the end of the day, a partner should always be a partner. Yes. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to be like lay over and like be a doormat. Yeah. Right. And I think that's one thing like nowadays is like guys is like, yeah, we have to do right by this and do right by that. 100%. 100% you have to do right by your partner. Yeah. No matter what.
It goes both ways though.
But it has to go both ways.
100%.
Respect has to go both ways, no matter what.
Like me and my brother laugh about this all the time because my brother's relationship with his wife is nowhere near what you see like in the media. They are both like literally they're both equals when it comes to that shit.
But that shit when I see that though, that's beautiful.
I love seeing a relationship like that. And the whole idea, me and my brother rip on this all the time when we hear people say happy wife, happy life. Get the fuck out of here.
I hate that.
You make them happy by doing the right thing, but you know what? They got to make you just as happy. Mm-hmm. It's got to come back. Like no, honestly, like it makes me so angry when they're sitting there going like, oh, it's just how it is, It's just how it is. It's just like, oh, if she's pissed off you, oh, she's gonna get mad if you do this. That's how it is. I'm like, no, it's not how it is.
I think we're cheesing off a lot of girls right now. So
100%, that's okay.
You know what? We're not saying not to respect you. We're saying respect you 100%.
Yeah,
but it's got to go both ways.
It has to go
all
both ways.
We're just saying right
100%.
now. Like do right by them, but. Do right by us too.
Why can't the partnership be 50-50?
That's all.
Like certain people have
50-50.
Yes.
That's all we're saying.
And when it comes to certain things,
don't dislike our YouTube video, please.
It's like, wow, these guys are fucking assholes.
Assholes, misogynistic assholes.
You're a real piece of shit. And you're an alcoholic.
Oh my god.
How you're
so bad. Anyway.
Shit, Norm.
I know.
Damn.
It's okay. I literally just went on again. 50-50. Please don't hate on us. 50-50.
Listen, if somebody cooks, someone else does the dishes. If someone takes out the garbage, the other person does something else. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that?
I love that.
And it's okay. Like I've lived with someone before where they're like, they told me, it's like, I don't take out the fucking garbage. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll go take out the garbage. I don't mow the lawn. Yeah. I know, I do. Like,
but that's another thing that's like getting a little bit blurred lines. It's called a partner for a reason. You know what I mean? Be a partner. The other person's having a bad day, be like, yo, babe, what do you need today? Or vice versa, right? Or like if you're having a tough week, okay, let me take care of this so you can have a better week, and vice versa. Those kind of relationships are what you should strive for and what you should like have for each other. Support. You know what I mean? Those are the things I like. I want and I agree for people.
But a lot of times, like, we have this thing, and I've talked to many people about this, but like we have this thing about settling. People settle because they feel like time is running out, and they're like, "Oh, I'm at an age now." Because apparently,
I find that's more with females though than males.
Yeah, no, dude.
Which is, it makes me a little sad because like I've seen a lot of people who they're like, "Oh, I'm like this age, I'm this age." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're an amazing person, and you're this age, and whatever. Who cares? You'll find somebody amazing. Don't settle.
Mm-hmm.
Never settle. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you should never settle. Never, ever, ever.
I'd much rather be, I swear to God, I've said this many times before, I'd much rather be alone for the rest of my life than settle with someone that I'm going to be fucking miserable with until the day I die.
I agree.
100%.
I agree.
I can't do it. And there is a timeline that people put on everything. And I think that's put on by I think it's put on by our parents' generation.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents' generation, a lot of times, on average, they were married by 23, 24? And then they started having kids at like 27.
Yeah.
Dude, 27, 28-year-olds now are just watching fucking like a bunch of dumbass videos on TikTok. Like there's such a difference. There is such a difference on it. So they think that there's a timeline that they have to meet, right? Mm-hmm. It's like when I'm 25, I had to have this. If I'm 29 right now, there are times where I'm talking to some people I know, and they're like, I'm like, oh, so you're getting married? That's sick, man. Are you pumped? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. That excitement was crazy. Yeah. And then they're just like, well, it's time. I put this much time into it. I was like,
time.
I was like, what is this, a fucking stock? Is this a business? Yeah, exactly. Like, what is going on here? Yeah. Like, what is going on here? I don't understand. Like, but like, that's what I mean. Like, you ask these questions with these people, and then you get that sort of timeline answer. And that's where I can make that statement saying it's about that timeline that people think that they're in. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got to do this, man. Mm-hmm. I'm the only cousin out of my whole family who is single right now. Mm-hmm. And then, so every time I go to a family get together, everyone has their significant other. All my aunts and uncles are kind of like, you all right, man?
You're like, I'm fine.
You're 33, man. What's going on? Where's the,
where's the kids? Where's the wife?
Where's the other half? And I'm just like, I don't know.
No. Yeah.
Probably one swipe away. I don't know.
Oh my God. One swipe away.
Well, come on. If you're single, you're going to play around on the dating apps. You're going to see what's out there.
Man, I mean, I said this in another podcast. Like, the art of conversation is gone because of social media. And I mean, I've been out of the game for a long time.
How long you been out of the game?
Like 7 years.
So you weren't even you weren't even in the thick of the dating app wildness.
No, my boy was on it, and he was showing me. Like, I remember when my friend Dan was like, "Yo, have you heard of Tinder?" I'm like, "No, dog." And he showed me, and he explained to me. I'm like, this is a Dateline episode. Like, this is how you get killed, bro. I seen a documentary on Netflix. And he's like, "No, you just swipe and you do this." I'm like, "This is wild." And it's like, I don't understand. Like, because all my friends are single, right? And perfectly fine being a wingman. And when we're at a bar and my friends are totally sociable, right? Like me, can go up to somebody, talk to them and whatever. These girls are dumbfounded because they're used to this, right? So they're not used to engage. Eyes, talking, laughing. Like my buddy is like, "Hey, like, what's your name? Like, do you want, like, I'm gonna get a drink. You want a drink too?" And they're a little weirded out by it.
Yeah.
Which is weird that they're weirded out by it, because it's like that's how it was back in the day. "Hey, my name is this. Saw you from across the bar or whatever. Just wanted to buy you a drink. If not down, don't worry." And they say yes or no. That's it. But most of the time, they're dumbfounded and they're like a little like curious and confused by that. And I think that's a little bit worrisome, right? Also, like, I find it a little bit worrisome that people can't just have a conversation. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, everything is emojis, Giphies, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And TikToks and Instagram videos. And that's it right now. And I think that's sad, right? Because conversation between a person and person is so fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. And it can be so meaningful, or even just so, like, just like, hey man, I had a really nice conversation with that girl, or I had a nice conversation with that guy the other day. Like, he's a sick dude, or whatever. He told me some cool stuff. That's lost.
Mhm.
That's gone now. You
100%.
can't do that now.
Well, I just like that. Like, I do like that things are opening up. Obviously, things are opening up. We can go out places, and then that's the joke I always make is just like, now instead of me getting turned down virtually, I can get turned down in person now, which is good.
Man, you're
actually,
a good-looking cat.
yeah, but you know what? Actually, I got a funny story. So a couple weeks ago, me and my two buddies went out, and we haven't been out in a while, right? So we go out and like, hey man, we're going out to the bars. We're gonna have some drinks. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
We see like there's like little groups here and there. So then I'm just like, you know what? Like I'm tired of fucking like for a couple of years, I was literally on like the dating apps. That like you said, we're talking on the dating apps, and it's like after a while, it's just like I'm used to going up and speaking to people. Like I get people through conversation by facial and voice. Like that's my thing. Like I can't portray my personality through text. There's only so much I can do because through text, it's like off-putting. Cause like, is this guy fucking psycho? It's like, no, you don't understand the delivery. You don't understand the joke I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So we went out, and then it was just like every so often, cause my two buddies, they're in long-term relationships, right? So they're just like, oh, what about that one over there? Oh, those ones. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give me a sec. Let's go. And I just grab my drink and I go and I see what happens. I come back like 10 minutes later. What happened? I was like, oh, apparently all these girls tonight have boyfriends, or else apparently I'm just shit, or apparently I'm just shit, but whatever. But for me, I was like, I enjoyed that interaction.
Know what though? That's how it should be. It's like you go, you swing or you miss. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. You know, and you go on.
I look at it like it's a win-win. And people always ask me what that is. It's a win-win.
I was just about to say.
Here we go. So the win-win with this one is like you go up, you talk to this girl's smoking hot. Okay, great. You get her number. Good for you. You got something out of it. Maybe something happens with this.
Good connection or whatever.
That's it. Or you get fucking turned down bad. And then guess what? You get to go back to your friends and fucking laugh about it. And you get to howl about it. And you get to talk. You know
that
how
happens
much
to Ryan a lot.
You know how much fucking like funny stories happen from a turn down that me and my buddies still talk about today.
That's so true.
Rather than like, oh, I met this girl. She liked me. I liked her. We went out for a bit. It was pretty nice. I'm like, cool story, bro. But no, I want to hear you get fucking turned down. Like,
what a way to turn it over, man. I like it.
Why not though? Like, it's just because at this idea, like people, they'll get turned down and they'll let it ruin their whole fucking weekend or their whole week.
Yeah, no, it can't be like that.
Because the ego gets hit.
Yeah,
the ego gets
more
hit.
For guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More
The ego because the guys are more or less the guys who are walking up and doing and they're talking. A lot of times the girls like they kind of want the guys to come up, and I guess that's where the difference. It differs a little bit.
Yeah.
Granted, I've seen many times, and I've got a few friends who are girls who say, "Oh no, I go up and I'll talk to the guy." Perfect. That's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Does it throw the guy off? Maybe he's not used to that. Maybe he's not. He wasn't ready for that.
I like that though.
I'd be sick.
I like that.
I like that.
See,
yeah.
But that goes along with that alpha female thing. I like that.
Yeah.
I like a girl who like gets what's hers. You know what I mean?
I like the girls who gets what hers, but I do not like when the girls try to like when they get what's theirs, they start controlling what they think is theirs.
Yeah.
And they become controlling. And that's what fucking gets me.
Yeah.
That's what if I see a relationship and I was in one, like where that person becomes controlling and they become like the fucking like I set the rules kind of thing. It's in the moment you don't realize you're there. Because you think everything's great, everything's fun, everything's
hindsight's always 20/20, right? You always look back and you're like, oh, wait a second,
and then you think
that didn't work,
and then you think back and you want to fucking vomit it in your mouth because it's disgusting.
That's pretty descriptive.
It's
but
disgusting.
Yes.
It's because you're just like, I cannot believe I let that happen, and you never want it to happen again. So now at times like your guard is up. Now, if you go on a date with somebody, you're like, fuck this person. The minute this person tries to be a little controlling, there's that trigger where you're like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm like, do it. She said, don't touch, don't have more than like 4 olives. Why? I want to have another olive. Give me another olive. It's like, why you have another olive?
See the olive thing.
Why you not let me have another olive? And they're like, oh, I think you had enough olives. I'm like, oh, this bitch is trying to control me. I'm fucking out. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out. Fuck this. Pay your own bill.
Pay your own bill.
Separate checks.
I love it.
But yeah, no, that's kind of like where I go with it. Now that's why I'm kind of enjoying like now if things open up, I don't know for how long because it's fucking nonsense, but like I'm okay with like going off and just like seeing like talking to different people, meeting different people. Let's see what that's all about.
Yeah, that's fair, man. So what I want to go into also is training for strength and conditioning. That's my bread and butter. What do you like to do for strength and conditioning for your own fights?
Yeah.
How do you protocol that?
So I got a strength coach, a new strength coach I started working with about 1.5 years ago. Real fucking
What's
good
his
guy.
name? Let's shout out to him right now.
Jason Dow's.
Jason Dows.
With Develop Athlete.
Develop Athlete?
He's one of the
What's
best
his
guys.
Instagram handle?
His business, if you just search up Develop Athlete,
Okay.
like you'll find him. If you look up Jason Dow's, you'll see that as well.
All right.
But like he honestly, like he's one of the best guys I've ever worked with.
Beautiful.
Like he understands. Like he works with the young up and comers for baseball and who are going basically to D1 universities, getting scholarships. He understands. Like I'm his first fighter, but he understands like rotational mechanics and rotational athletes.
So okay, to add a little bit to what you just said, one of the hardest hits I've ever had with somebody punching me was a baseball player.
Probably with the right hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that rotation, and I was like, boom! I was like, holy, that was wild. And so to add to what you just said, like that would work like equally just as much to you.
Perfect. And if the one thing I've learned from Jay is that he teaches me about like obviously upper body rotation, lower body rotation, a lot of foot placements and a lot of like foot workouts and whatnot. Yeah. But the biggest thing I always ask him, because like I used to play baseball growing up, and I'm like Jay, I can't fucking hit the ball out of the infield, but I can squat like 250 pounds. My brother, on the other hand, he can fucking hit a ball 400 feet. But this guy can't squat like 110 pounds.
Isn't that crazy how it works?
Yeah,
like
it's fucking disgusting. But I was like, what happens? And he goes, the way that your hips snap, the way your body rotates properly, and there's that quick. If you ever watch like in slow mo, like a home run being hit, like you can see the rotational turn and the snap of the front hip, and you see that. And like he basically he had all those like references, and then he started watching all these fights, and then he started seeing everybody's rear hand and seeing the snap of the punch when they land that rear hand, and then the snap of their front hip. And he goes, look at how this fighter here snaps that lead hip along with this batter hitting a home run, but snapping that lead hip. That's how it is. And that's how he can like put it all together when it comes to rotation. Just in general, the blanket statement of rotational athletes. Mm-hmm. He's got this now. He understands it because he's seeing the progression it's having with me and whatnot, and with the overall power. So he has basically we stick with compound lifts like your standard, your deadlifts, your trap bar, your squats, your bench press. But then he also makes sure that we're doing certain superset workouts or other workouts that like help out other certain parts of the body, other like and then like rotational turns when it comes to our thoracic spine, our hips, and also our balance on our feet. Making sure that we're balancing on the outer portion of our feet, lifting the inner arches of our feet, so we're not sitting there like basically it's like back in the day whenever you used to like tie your skates like shit, and your ankles like kind of come inward like that. That's most people's postures these days. If you watch them, if you see them stand, like their inner their inner arches are inward, and like it fucks up your whole posture. You become like more like this. But if you lift the inner arches of your feet, he was teaching me that like everything else, your posture just becomes better, and like your overall movement becomes better because you start to walk on the outer edges of your feet and you start walking properly. Once that happens, it's a game changer. So I've been working with him for about just over a year and a half. And like, we've been doing all these things and he's been teaching me about all this stuff. So that's basically the bulk of my like strength and conditioning, more or less strength, because my conditioning I get in through my actual sport of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking. And that's how I get more of my conditioning. And sometimes we do a little bit of like explosive work, but my main conditioning is my sport, and my strength work is with him.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure to watch you spar, and you got some good. You got a second gear there. I remember you were actually here at this studio. You guys were sparring, and I remember I told Diego, I'm like, I really like the way that guy's stance is. Like, it's like, man, it's like, he's. He gives as much as he gets. Like, he goes. And I was like, really, and your cardio is really good. I would say it's really good.
It's, you know what? over the years, I've become more economical.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big issue with young fighters. And I teach the young fighters these days. I was like, listen, you can have the best cardio in the world. You can run a fucking marathon. You can run sprints.
It's not the same though.
It's not the same. And like, you can do all that crap. You can even do like hard ass fucking pad work. But if you're sparring or if you're in a fight, and you're holding your breath,
way different.
Your cardio gets diminished like by a crazy amount. So you've got to be more economical with your strikes. And that comes with time. I've been doing this for 13 years. Yeah. So I know I've become better at it.
It's a lot of experience, and a lot of people don't understand like breathing. just breathe.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, you're gonna be okay. Just breathe. A lot of people first of all, headhunting. Everybody headhunts in the
Yeah.
beginning, right? You're gonna be fine. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Set up the body shot, everything like that. People don't guys starting off usually don't do that, right?
Well, even the young guys now, I always ask them, like, before sparring, I was like, what are you working on today?
Mhm.
And an older MMA coach used to say that to me all the time. And then he would ask me, he's like, hey, like, what are you working on today? The first couple times, I was like, I don't know. I'm a fucking, I don't know, just fucking hit my hand on this guy's head. I don't know. What do you want from me, man?
Yeah.
And then, so I try to tell these guys, I was like, have a fucking purpose.
Mhm.
That's with everything though, man. Like, you walk out of your fucking house, have a purpose, have an intention on what you're doing. Why are you going to this place, or why are you doing what you're doing? So when I see someone not doing the right things, or just not being smart about their training, I'll go up to them after. I was like, what was your purpose today? And they're like, oh, I was just kind of flowing with it. I was doing whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, even when I do my boot camps, shout out to Studio 95.
Boom.
When I do my boot camps here, I yell. I'm like, remember why you're here. Remember why you're here. Why are you here?
Yeah.
Are you here to go through the movements and just get it done? Is it a checklist? Oh, I worked out 4 times this week. Or are you here to get a goal done? Are you here to push your heart rate in this one? Are you here to make sure that you don't get that second breath and you keep on going? Why are you here? It's your personal thing, right? And I think that's I honestly, I remind myself sometimes when I work out, like, listen, every workout is different. Sometimes you're going to come in, you're super motivated, right? Sometimes you're going to come in, you're like, I really don't want to fucking be here, right? So it's really important to remind yourself, why are you here? Why are you here? Are you here to push yourself mentally? Are you here to push yourself cardiovascularly? Are you here to make sure that you're disciplined and make sure that you are doing the things that you don't want to do, but in turn is making you better than you really were before, right? Why are you here? That's what's important should be important to people, right? It should not, I'm not going to say names, but I have a person who comes to this boot camp and I talk to her and she's like, no, honestly, Norm, this is a checklist. And I'm like, that's sad. That's sad. You should be here because you want to be healthier.
How long has she been coming here for?
She's been coming here. Well, she's been coming here for like 4 or 5 years. But to her, it's like, okay, I did Peloton twice this week. I did the boot camp twice this week. And I had like 7 salad bowls this week, And that's her. Now, mind you, she's a very successful person financially. And she's a checklist person. But to me, it has to go deeper than that. You have to have more meaning.
I like how you specified that as that category of successfully financially, because there's so many things where, like, you talk to people and they're just like, what's the first thing when they talk about a significant other that they're now seeing, and they're just like, oh, this person makes this much a year. Why the fuck do I care? They make $100,000 a year. Like, that their job like does nothing for me. So let's talk about other areas. Cool. Yeah. You fucking fly planes or an helicopter
or you
pilot.
Tell me, like, I do this. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I make $100,000 a year. I'm like, well, you didn't have to mention that, but that's cool.
but there's so much other levels of success. There's financial success. There's like there's just everything. There's athletics success. Okay. There's physical activity success. There's so much other emotional success. Like, there's like family success too. Like, if you're a shitty person to your family, like, you ain't successful there. They're not going to look at you. They're not going to look at you and like talk highly about you if you just because you make $120,000 a year, but you see them twice a year. Are you fucking kidding me?
100%.
They're gonna look at you like you're a piece of garbage.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the big one when it comes to like levels of success. But obviously, if you want to be successful in certain areas, other areas are gonna take hits.
They all come together at the end of the day. But that's one thing. It's like, you can't just focus on financial. Like, for you to have a happy life, you need to be emotionally, physically, and financially set. You know what I mean? And maybe that being said, you don't have to make $200,000 a year or $100,000 a year. If whatever financially you make is just the way you are, and you're happy with that, but physically you're happy, you're healthy, and emotionally you're happy and healthy, that honestly, that seems like a person who's winning to me. You know what I mean? That if people have that perfect triangle, That's fine by me.
And if you could talk, and when you talk to that person on a daily basis, and these motherfuckers are glowing,
yeah,
and like, and
they're
they're
hate on it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they're positive, and they're like good people. Like, you ever meet those people where they're just like, damn, man, I want to spend like a day in their head because why are they so fucking happy?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not for show. They're legitimately like good people, good-hearted people, genuine people that are happy with just they do a 9-to-5 job, but guess what? They have all the other areas checked off.
Yeah.
They've got their family life taken care of. They've got their friends. They go on vacation. They do these certain things. And like, even though they call that the fucking rat race, I get that. But like, but if they're happier than a guy who's running his own business, but he fucking hates everything, he doesn't see his family, doesn't have a relationship with anybody, it's like, who's winning really?
No, you're right. You're right. It's a thrifty road. It's hard to get to that situation where you can be happy all around.
Because you can't take the money with you.
I mean, I don't like. Sometimes when people talk about, I'm like, this is not like old Egypt where you get buried with your money.
Yeah,
when you die, like my, we're gonna get a little deeper. It's fine.
Let's go.
My worry when I pass is, did I do enough for people? That, like, I truly believe, like, see if I can explain this without being an asshole. A lot of people, all they want to be in life and do in life is to be happy and do happy things. But I truly believe, whether it's God, whether it's a different religion, I don't really care. I think my purpose in this world is to help people and to do right by people. I think I need to give more and take less. That's just, and I think if you ask the people around me, I think that's why I'm so hard on myself when I do something selfish. Is because I don't truly, like, you hook me up to a lie detector, whatever. I don't think I belong in this world to be happy. I think I belong on this world to do right and to do well to other people's and to help people and to give more than I take. Now, we're having a drink right now. This makes me happy. You know, this podcast makes me happy that I'm able to give this. I'm not saying I want to be miserable. I want to do things that make me happy. But at the end of the day, you know, if we're at a bar and I have the money to pay for the bill, I want to pay for the bill.
Hell yeah.
And it's not because of ego. It's because, yo, you're my boy, you know, and I want to take care of people. And it's not an ego thing. It's not like an alpha thing. It's like, hey, if I have the money to take care of people, or I have the means to do something to make their day better, it's my responsibility to make their day better, right? That's just the way I feel about things. Not everybody agrees with that. No, my fiance doesn't agree with that, but it's fine. Like, everybody has a purpose, I think, and every purpose is, you know, to their own, you know. I have a friend who's like, all I want to do when I pass is remember that I'm like, to feel, be like, hey, I lived a happy life. And you know what? That's great. I respect that. I appreciate that. I think that's beautiful, but that's your purpose. And that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? And it changes to everybody, right? And again, like, it's some people like, all I want to do is win a world championship. I don't hate on that. You know, that is your thing. Or some people are like, all I want to do is get that diploma or whatever. That is amazing. That is your thing. You know, but I you know, everybody has their own thing. That's what I'm trying to like push forward.
It's like you wanna make an impact. You want to make a positive impact. And to be honest, like what you're doing, like you're in the exercise world. Like you're in the world where every day you're essentially helping somebody feel better.
Hopefully.
Physically.
Yeah.
So,
and emotionally. And
mentally. Exactly. Because that all ties in. So essentially you're doing that every fucking day.
Yeah.
So you are giving more than you're taking by a long shot. And this is why a part of my business I love, because it's like, oh, I'm making these people find like a different gear that they didn't know they have. And then once they find it, now they can like flourish and they can run with it. Now they become like their own personal nutritionist who understands the concepts that I was teaching them. And now that if they can give that off to people that they know, and people ask them why it is they do what they do, is because this is why what they're doing it. So like we're both kind of making an impact, but on different levels. Like you're doing the gym world, I'm doing the nutrition world. But like that's how I looked at it too. Like I've always wanted to make an impact, and I've always wanted to like when I'm gone and it's done, that's it. Like for the people that are around that can talk about it, they're like, oh shit, like that this guy did something. Like that's it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, for example, like you helping somebody with like nutrition, maybe you give them that discipline and be like, you know what? I respect myself so much more now because I can eat better, and I can give myself the love of discipline, right? Now let's go into another thing. And you just giving them that little spark of discipline can go into other things. Maybe I'm going to be disciplined financially now because Matt gave me that kind of teaching to be disciplined in my own little thing. That was so troublesome for me. And then that sparks into another thing and another thing. And that snowballs into a beautiful person, right? Into an alpha, right?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that like I love and I appreciate and I respect. Like even like people I don't like and they better themselves, I'm like, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like you, but like I'm so happy for you.
Do what you got to do.
Exactly. And like betterment is just something, I don't know. I appreciate so much in a person.
There's
I respect.
There's a level of like there's always going to be a level of respect,
Mhm.
and like even if you dislike somebody, there's going to be a level of respect if they're doing something great.
Yeah.
Like good, do
Yeah.
what you got to do. That's it. Like for me, when I'm like there are certain clients where like they're hard on themselves,
Mhm.
and you say you're hard on yourself too, but like clients are hard on themselves, and then like we'll get past the weekend. Like I'll get on my weekly emails that I send out on Monday, Tuesday. Like I'll get an email back. I'm like, oh man, I kind of fucked up. Like on the Saturday, Sunday, I did this, and there's so much self-hate going up,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I did this, I fucked up, and I'm like, what do you mean you messed up? What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, I ate this, I went off menu, had this, and I'm like, yeah, but look at your daily weights, the daily weight check-ins. Look at how much we've dropped in the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Guess what? 10 weeks ago, you started at X amount of weight.
Mhm.
Now you're here. You've dropped like, let's say like 14 pounds. Why are you hating on yourself?
Yeah.
And then when I draw that up for them, when I put the numbers in front of them, sometimes I'll send them.
It's perspective, right?
I'll send them like a line chart of where they started and where they are at currently. And like, I never thought about it like that. I had a couple of the donuts on the Sunday morning. I thought I fucked up. I was like, no, you didn't. You're a human being.
Mhm.
Let's just work that in. Like we're trying to figure this out for you. We're trying to find your behavioral patterns, and we're going to try to not stifle them, but we're going to try to make you work with them.
Mhm.
If you want to have certain things, you can have certain things. Like you asked me earlier, I didn't get to the answer about the alcohol. Someone goes to me, he's like, I want alcohol.
Mhm.
I need like a lot of times the female clients, I love my red wine. They say that.
I love a little wine.
I fucking love red wine. After I got back from Italy, I got into red wine.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not no connoisseur,
Okay.
but if I drink some red wine, I'm like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But but if someone comes to me, he's like, I like having some red wine on Friday, Saturday. I can't have that anymore. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you better.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't come to me on Monday. I'm like, oh, I went to a friend's party, but I didn't want to drink at all. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you getting ready for a fucking fitness show?
Yeah.
Does your weight have to be perfect? Your body fat percentage be perfect? No, I want you to be a fucking human being.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to like not think that you're on a diet at all.
Mhm.
Because growing up, ever since like I was always eating healthy up in like probably starting around like 17, 18. So all through like more than half my life now, it's just like I've been constantly people ask me, are you still on a diet? Are you on that diet? Are you on that diet? Oh, you can't eat this. Me going to a family function and trying to like even eat a little bit, put a little bit more on my plate. Holy fuck, I got ridiculed.
Oh, really?
Where they're just like, you can't eat that. I'm Italian. I just want to have a fucking cannoli. Let me have a cannoli. And then
I
like,
love it. I
I
love
try
it.
to grab a cannoli. I have people in my family going, oh, I don't think you should eat that. I'm like, maybe you should mind your own fucking business. How's that sound?
That's fair.
So like when I try to tell people, I was like, we're going to try to make you as human as possible. And you're not going to be on a diet. We're figuring this out for you so that you can be a little, that's where if it fits your macros works.
Mhm.
No, not so that you can have like 10 tidbits a day. No, so that if you want to have certain foods, let's fucking add those in. You want that red wine on Wednesday night or Friday night or Saturday night because you had a tough fucking week. Hell, I can sympathize. Let's do it.
Mhm.
So I try to help them with that. Now I'm trying to like, let's make this work so that like long term, they're always going to make health conscious choices.
Mhm.
And like throughout life, like 85% of their weekly intake is going to be very health conscious. But guess what? I tell them, let's go off menu 15% of the time. Who cares?
Mhm.
You're going to get the same results whether you're 85% on or 100% on. But let's not forget that 15% that you go off menu, don't take down a fucking village.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
be
yeah.
more like don't go above your calorie count by like fucking 3,000 calories or guess what? You're going to be a problem. Like if you get a season's pass through Uber Eats, we have a fucking issue right now.
Season's pass. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I think there's like free delivery if you like sign up like for a certain amount. Yeah.
Really?
I've seen that. It's like,
That is
like,
some wild
yeah,
shit.
get some free delivery. Get free delivery and like for a long time if you sign up for 3 months in advance. So like, but I try to tell them, I was like, look, you can be a normal person. You don't have to have you have to have someone saying, are you still on a diet? I fucking hated that growing up. And I still get it now here and there. We're like, should be eating that. And I'm like, bitch, I'm my own nutritionist. I think I know what I'm doing right now.
You know exactly what
The
you're doing.
day that I don't make weight for the first time, then I'll allow people to be like, I don't think you should eat that. Other than that, I should say, mind your own fucking business.
That's fair.
I'll eat what I want to eat.
That's fair. I like it. That's true. So when we met previously for the podcast, you said there's an interesting story to your tattoo.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I don't know it. This is fresh.
This is fresh, yeah. So this is very new. This is like all in a year, basically in the last like 9-10 months. So this all derived from this year. So like we're going half bionic, half gladiator sheath because of the whole like I fight, yeah, and obviously I want to think I want to think I'm cool,
fine.
Whatever.
You are cool.
Yeah,
I think you're a cool guy.
Well, I think I got more cool points by getting a tattoo, right?
Sometimes
maybe I don't know. I'm just fucking ripping on myself. Yeah,
tattoos, but anyway.
I'm just ripping myself right now. No, so basically, I did the half bionic, half gladiator. So the reason behind that is my last kickboxing fight before I turned pro. I just got back from a boys trip we went to Wisconsin for a Green Bay game. Okay, because I'm a Packers fan, football fan. So I get back. Then it's on the Monday. I get a call from a guy at the gym. Hey man, they need someone to help out with their main event in BC. This kickboxing organization. I'm like,
what was it called?
I have no fucking idea. Honestly, I don't care too much for them. So fuck them. Yeah. So whatever. So no. They asked for me. They said, hey, we need someone to substitute. Someone got injured. Is your guy good to go? And I go to my boy Derek, and he's like, can you do it? I was like, what's the weight at? Like, 175 pounds. I'm like, oh, wonderful. I just got back from vacation. I'm good to go.
I'm gonna fit that.
That's an easy weight cut. It was not even a weight cut, right? So then I was like, okay, let's do it. So 5-day notice, jump off, and we go up a couple weight classes ahead. So we go, and me and my one training partner, like none of my coaches can come. One of my main training partners, who's obviously he's an incredible coach as well. So like we fucking go out there, just me and him. We fight their guy, main event, and then I felt it too. It was a 5-round kickboxing fight. Obviously no gear. I get a kick to the arm, and I felt the tingle in my arm. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, right? Like I didn't like, that's where a week before I was even talking about how I didn't believe in the whole adrenaline thing. Oh, adrenaline, you won't fucking feel any pain. Oh, fucking, you better believe I finished the whole fight. I didn't realize what happened. So I end up fracturing my forearm in the second round.
Oh, wow.
So we go right into like all the way up until the 5th round, goes to a decision. I end up losing a decision. My fault. I should have finished the guy. I should never say, if it goes to a decision, you should never say that I should have won. No, you should have finished the fight if you wanted
to leave it to the judges.
No, that's it. If you lost, you lost. That's it. That's how I did. So I lost the fight, but I broke my arm in the second round. I went all through the fight. I was fucking just throwing with it. I didn't realize it. The minute the bell for the 5th round was done, I walked to my corner and I looked down, and my fucking arm was huge. It was fucking massive. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, what the I started feeling around. I was like, yo, this ain't right. Something's up.
My forearm's not supposed to be
it's
like
not
this.
like my buddy, my training partner looked at me. He goes, your arm looks like the size of your fucking legs.
Oh my gosh.
So then I was like, this is bad. So then I did end up fracturing my forearm. So I ended up getting a steel plate in the arm. So that's where this whole idea derived from. But on that same night, only because years before I broke this arm. Same idea, blocking a kick. So apparently I don't know how to block kicks. I'm a fucking idiot. So let's put it that way.
Okay.
So then basically I already knew that how bad this fracture was. So I went down to BC. I'm going down. It's essentially a mini trip. My sister lives out there. So my sister comes to the fight, and she was her and her friend were the only fans I had. Everyone else, there was like fucking 400 people there, all for this main event guy. So I was like, shit, I'm in fucking deep shit, right? I better not win. I better not win. So basically, the whole time, like they gave me a sling, and I'm like, my buddy goes to me, he's like, you want to go to the hospital? I was like, I already know it's broken.
Yeah, it's done.
I was like, I haven't seen my sister in a while. I was like, let's go out for the night. So just as the adrenaline was like wearing off, I was able to get into like what I was gonna wear for the night, and we went out all fucking night in Vancouver. Went on the town, just got absolutely just wrecked, and then it was fucking 3:30. And I go to my guy. I was like, all right, man, it's time to go to the hospital now. So we go to the hospital in Vancouver, and you know about BC. It's full of like a lot of homeless people, drug addicts, all that stuff. So I'm in the emergency room, and I'm surrounded. Man. I've got meth head, heroin, meth head, buddy, heroin, meth head, buddy. So then all of them all around me, these guys are fucked, and I'm just hammered with a broken arm. So then they bring me in. They're actually happy that I'm like coherent somewhat.
Yeah, you're
And
not
like, I'm only drinking because everyone else, they have to make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like, so then I come back after, and then I get the surgery done a week later. They put a steel plate in my arm. So I'm like, you know what? I want to do something from this. So like, so that's why I got the idea of like, hey, let's get
sick.
that tattoo going. So I did the bionic gladiator sheath, and then on the hand tattoo, obviously you knew about this like not too long ago. Our guy Derek passed away.
Yeah.
So then Derek used to always wrap our hands. So he always used to wrap our hands. So I'm like, you know what, D-Rock, I put his name here, put the hand wraps on like that, and that like kind of like it's dedicated to him. So every time like I look down, it's this guy's here right now, because obviously he had such an impact on everyone that he like came in contact with.
Place, man.
It's crazy. Like you like meet up with people, you see people now, and they're like, and they know about like, obviously Derek's gone. They're just like, they have a story to tell about him.
Always.
And I've never had this where like you run into these people and they're like, oh my, I remember when Derek used to do this. I remember when Derek used to do, I'm like, this motherfucker had that impact.
He is like the definition of gave more than he took.
Oh my God. Like that's it.
I remember when I was sponsoring the Bazooka show, he was super sweet. And he was like, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry. And like, that was the first time I met that man. And he looked me straight in the eye. And I've never felt so much like honesty from that person. And he's like, we're going to take care of this. Don't worry. He texted me during COVID. He's like, we're going to do this, whatever. Like it was, he nothing but amazing things to say about that man.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's so
but
funny. Every time, like he's always so modest, and he's always so humble. And he was always he wanted to make sure that we're all taken care of.
Yes.
And it was so evident whenever he would wrap our hands. Mm-hmm. So our biggest thing with Derek, when he wrapped our hands, we're always excited because like he would do like a hand massage.
Oh really?
And then
I pull some funny shit like that.
Well, yeah,
right?
but the thing is, he gave us the hand massage, and it was a moment of calmness before we go into the fucking fire, which we loved. So all the fighters like, oh man, can't wait for the D-Rock fucking hand massage. It'd be great. Gosh. And people in the rooms were like, oh, these guys are enjoying this shit. But then like he'd wrap our hands, and he'd always be like, are the hands okay? I'm like, D, you're like one of the best in the game that do this, man. Like we're good. It's like, yo, if we have to, we cut it and we could do it again. No, I like, make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like you've never wrapped my hands, and I've never felt that they were terrible ever. Like they've always been fucking on. Like they're a goddamn cast on my goddamn fucking knuckles. And so like that's the kind of guy he was, right? So he was always like making sure that we're always good. Like every time we're out, hey man, you were good. Every time we traveled, because we traveled all over the world together, he always like, every time we're out, I was like, you got a drink? You're okay? You're all set? Okay, if we go out here, like you're all right. Like that's the kind of guy he was. But he was so genuine when it came to that. Like he wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing it as like a show.
No, it was just him.
It was crazy.
It was just him. He was just amazing person.
And just like he's one of those guys, like you talk about it now and you're like, holy fuck, like this guy still has that impact.
Oh,
still has that impact forever.
He will forever. His legacy is gonna stand the test of time
easily, because we still talk about him now. Like, well, not a week goes by where like a story doesn't come up about Derek. Like, remember when Derek would do this? Remember, like for example, we always me and our videographer Danny, we always laugh about this, and Joe laughs about it too. We're just like, whenever someone like kind of ignores you or they don't hear you and they walk away, they'll be like, cool, we'll talk later. Like that's always like a Derek thing to say.
Cool, I'll talk to you later.
Cool, man. Cool, we'll talk later. And like the person just walks away, ignores you. You're like, fuck this guy. So that's the thing now we say. Like, cool, we'll talk later. And like the people are walking away. So it's just one of those things where like shit lives on with this guy, because like he's done so much where like he gave more than he took.
Yeah.
He never want to take anything.
No.
It's fucking crazy.
No.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
And it gets me every time, because all going through, like, because I only knew him for like about 13 years. And he's just like you always want to give back to him. And he goes, no, it's fine, man. It's fine. It's like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, he just didn't care. He
No.
just wanted to be there. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing bad to say about him.
He's like the definition of someone who's very successful in like life in general,
Yes.
like overall.
Yes.
Like he was successful in all the different pillars
he had
of
them
life,
all.
everything.
Yeah, and he balanced them all
Perfect.
like perfectly. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're a little bit past our time, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Hope you come back. I'm actually working on podcast to watch a fight with a whole bunch of people. So hopefully you can come to that one.
I'd love that. Let's do it.
So I hope you can come to that, like a fight companion.
Okay.
So I'd be down if you can come to that.
100%.
I appreciate you coming on. I hope everybody got us a little bit of good information from you.
Mhm.
This was bourbon is amazing.
Amazing.
As it's clearly mostly gone.
Yeah.
But where can they find you on social media?
Main ones you get me on is Instagram.
Okay.
Number one, Instagram. I'm getting more. I'm doing more on my TikTok. Obviously, I'm just getting on that one.
Yep.
My website, they can get a hold of me, beardedbites.ca.
Sweet.
All across the social platforms is Bearded Bites. So just look it up. Like I said before, like with DMs, like if you shoot me a message, I'll get you right back.
Okay.
Like I never ignore a message. I get everyone right back. And if they have questions when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to anything like that, I'm there for it.
Beautiful. Okay, guys. Well, you heard it from here. Have a good rest of the day, and we are done.
Boom.
Bye.